they're keeping, at least for now, the Associated Press out of the photo ops because they won't call it the Gulf of America. Is
Mhm.
that something that exercises either of you, or like no big deal?
Oh, it's a huge deal because so many independent journalists actually get a lot of their raw photos and information and notes from the Associated Press. They also publish internationally. They're the center seat in the briefing room. They're the least cited because they are so international and they set kind of the style for the rest of the industry. So I think that they had a good AP was like, look, we're going to call it the Gulf of Mexico. We've called it that for 400 years. That's what every other country calls it. We will, however, call it Mount McKinley because the president says it's Mount McKinley and it's a structure that's entirely in the United States. So, like, let's be cool about this and move on. And he was like, no. So, you know, I don't think the AP is going to bend their style for this, but keeping them out of the executive orders signing did handicap a lot of independent journalists who would normally be able to get photos from the AP, and now we have to buy them from Getty. So I think that that does infringe on first, 1A rights for a lot of folks, and they might just not realize that's the process of like down funneling raw data.
Bridget, does it bother you unduly at all?
I mean, I honestly, I was dealing with my child all day, so I just found out about this, but like 5 minutes, a little bit before we came on. Um, that seems strange, but again, I don't really know the history. Have other places been let out by other administrations? Is this, have
People have been
there,
barred. People have been barred from things, but as V suggests, barring the AP is a big deal
Yeah.
okay,
because they do serve so many organizations around the country and the world, and they're barring them for a dispute over news coverage judgments.
Mm.
right.
So in the realm of disputes between the White House and a news organization and the White House Correspondents Association, it's a pretty epic dispute. I don't know if they'll back down though, because I don't think the AP is going to back down. And if they are permanently barring the AP from covering pool photo ops, it'll be a big deal.
Okay, yeah, that seems like a little crazy.
Now, on the
Yeah.
other
All
side,
right.
that they
Yeah. Go
kicked
ahead.
people out of the Pentagon pool. And the way the
Yeah.
Pentagon works is that there's a bunch of news agencies in there that could just roam the halls freely because we have a citizen monitored military, citizen led military. And I thought them switching out, like NBC doesn't get a permanent desk, but, this other, more friendly channel that's more right leaning does. I kind of like the idea of mixing up who gets a permanent desk and who gets deference, but it should be adding to, maybe not taking away from. I think we could expand
Yeah.
how many people get access without barring other folks.
It's just
Yeah.
crazy though, because the
Yeah.
last administration was not accessible at all.
Oh,
So
I thought they were super accessible,
to
but
me, it seems like they're
No.
very like this, that they seem very a lot more open and just willing to take questions off the cuff and be
Yeah.
available than the last 4 years, to me at least. That
Yeah.
that does seem like a striking difference.
mm,
What metrics are you using to say the Biden administration was open?
how many times I was there. So I guess for me
Yeah.
personally, it was like a little bit more friendly. They did creator briefings with creators and
Yeah.
podcasters that weren't the briefing room briefing that were separate. We had access, like I had access to NATO and stuff to do interviews and senior officials and whatnot. I feel like they were starting to open the door to understanding that going on podcast and creator led media was a benefit, but certainly they had far more protocol and sort of tradition than this administration does for sure.